See it. Wake up and rise, open your eyes. It's breakfast with the Thomases, the ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday, work it out Wednesday, pay it forward Friday. We're seizing the day. Digital finance, harmony of love, serving food to what goes to rising as the beat and it Eastern on P2G TV. Breakfast with the Thomases, come eat with me.
Whoo! Okay. Grand Rising. Welcome to Work It Out Wednesday. It's your girl, Miss Ruby, here for Breakfast with the Thomases. Let's go. Hey, how y'all doing, everybody out there on stereo and Clapper and YouTube and wherever you come in from, you hail from, we welcome you to the program this morning. Today, I got the calm. So we're going to have a little fun. Today, we're going to have a little fun. You know, I am loving what's happening in this new year. I'm loving it because of my position, I guess I could say. It's a little different. For those who know me, know that Breakfast with the Thomases was created to help to enlighten people, to enlighten our community about just this, about what's happening in the world, the changes in the world. We've been going strong for 3 years now, and we ain't stopping, by the way. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things are going to be coming. So our Wednesdays, we want to share with you. We're going to give you a little nuance and update to the new show. Yes. So Breakfast with the Thomases, which is on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. on your beautiful airways, on so many social medias. Guess what? We will be introducing people on Wednesdays. Our Work It Out Wednesdays are now being set aside for interviews, to interview and bring forth and present to you all community. Yes, you too as well. So if you're seeing this and this is a part of your experience and you have a business or you've been kind of out there in your lone wolf situation, it's time to get out. We're bringing you in. Come on in. And we want you guys to reach out to us through P2G Networks, okay? I want you to reach out, go to my website, hit in to contact us, or just hit the bot, and I'll be looking for people who want to be on the show, added to the lineup for Wednesdays. This whole year, we are actually marketing out the whole year. We're going to get you guys marking up our calendars, making sure you all are set up and you've got the proper presentation. Because P2G Networks is a network of networks. It is a place where our community comes together. We not only do business, but we become present. We appear to one another. Oh my God. We actually show up. That's the dream. And that's what's happening. So I'm excited. You guys come on in. P2G Networks is definitely doing what it do. Making sure we get our little everything in order so that we're prepared for you. Spent 7 years getting ready. And we are ready. The mothership is landing. Better get online because it's time to go. All right. Now, everything we've talked about for these last year has been somewhat coming into space, y'all. Y'all notice we talk back at y'all. We will talk to y'all in 2021 when we were looking up and doing research with our Collective Enlightenment group. Yeah, check that out on P2G Networks TV. Collective Enlightenment was one of the shows 2021. And we was telling y'all about these CBDCs. We were telling y'all about the Fed Now program. I'm giving you fact. Y'all look it up. We told you don't believe a word I say. We talked to you about things in the world that was changing. We told y'all about Bitcoin, crypto, what the opportunity was when it was really, really low. We also told you that the information you were getting from mainstream media was misleading. It was to lead you away from what they were collecting. You guys watch Elon Musk come out and bust out with Lil Doge story. Well, y'all don't know what the actual strategy was for that. You just know that the come up was big. And you keep thinking that it's some celebrity that's going to tell you or teach you something. Y'all better come to class because we've been teaching this for over 5 years of the beautiful growth. And I'm talking about actually, I gotta say 7 years. Because before we got our name, we were a movement. Before we got our name, our actual program name, we were already coming together, working together 3 hours a night. I had to quit my job because the world shifted exactly how 2 years previous we had already said it was, and it was just research. I don't do predictions. I read the math. I that's who said it's true. I read the math. I pay attention. I look at history. It don't change. Y'all living in someone else's plan and ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere till you get a plan. So we've been helping people get a plan. Put those plans into work. Get on top of what the elites will have you believe is not something for you. You know why you broke? Someone planned it. You know why they're wealthy? Someone planned it. That is all there is. It is not rocket science. It is not new math. Someone planned it. That's all it took. Guys, we love you, but we want to see your growth. But you gotta want it more than we do. So come to class. You're going to P2G. Let's get to the digital financial literacy. Our onboardings are Wednesdays today. Let me show you the QR code. If you guys want to hop in on a free, very free session, hop in tonight. Okay, hop on tonight, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be on Zoom. That is the Zoom invitation directly. Ooh, some of my people can't see that. Let's get you that Zoom invitation. There you go. How you doing? Hey, beautiful. How you doing? I'm talking about it. I'm making sure everybody gets this. Come to class. Because I don't care where you came from. We are going places unimaginable. Because you guys were never taught this. Neither was I. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My mama and father didn't know about this. But somebody had to go out and learn something new, right? How many of y'all are, what do they call it? How many of y'all the ugly duckling? What do they call it? The black cats in the family. How many of y'all are considered the ones that are, those are that other kind? You are there to save your family. You are there to save the generation that is yours and then some. You're not here for later, you're here for now. Who you have been all your life, the black sheeps, okay? The black sheeps. It is your time, and it's time for you to educate and complete the elevation. Come on in, we invite you. So, P2G Networks, it's up. Today is Wednesday. It's probably our last Wednesday without an amazing guest, which we have amazing guests set up for next week and going forward. So I want you guys to start following because we'll be putting it up on the P2G channel. For those who are not on P2, who this program is not running on P2G, it's only because our P2G YouTube got slammed from Mr. Thomas's unfortunate programming snafu with the information. So they're making us cool our heels until we get back in alignment. I'm working with him on teaching them that stuff. But today is our day. So let's go have a conversation to elevate and you guys innovate when we leave. But before we go, oh, it's my boy on the spot. Here we go, BC.
Hey, good morning, Miss Thomas, Mr. Thomas. Hope you're having a great, wonderful Wednesday. Y'all back here this Wednesday. Y'all made it. A lot of people didn't make it. This BC Black Casper. I'm out here on the streets of Stereo and Clappers for this Wednesday out here in Wisconsin. Headed down New York. I'll be headed down that way.
He coming through.
I'm going to be there until probably Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
So much love to you.
Much love to you, brother.
Have a great
one. Let us know when you coming through. Oh, I would definitely want to hook up. I love it. Brother Black Casper is a long time supporter, as well as He was one of our co-hosts on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Was in the cut. But he's doing his thing. He's driving around. He is driving the miles of this country to make sure that he fulfills people's needs. We call them our fulfillment masters. They're the ones who make sure that things like food and supplies get to your location. There are truck drivers. So once again, I want to make sure we give all the love to those who bring all the love to our communities. Y'all make sure when you meet or see a truck driver, you just stop and tell them thank you. Thank you. It's not an easy job. It's mostly a thankless job, but it's one that does the most. You may not even see it until there's a worldwide disaster. We'll talk about that later. So let's get it popping. What are we going to do about this situation? The news is mad, but don't get distracted. And so today I'm going to bring this young lady in. We absolutely love supporting the ITM trading platform, and Taylor Kenny happens to be one of our sources for great research and information. Something if our community don't get, you're going to keep being broker and wondering why you'll have nothing and be grateful. Come on, somebody. Let's go.
You already know that this weekend the United States invaded Venezuela, capturing former President Nicolas Maduro, and announced plans to run the country until further notice. But what you don't know is why and the impact it will have on you. They'll tell you that this is only about the drugs. It's not. This is a story about power, commodities, and the future of the entire global monetary system. After decades of debt-fueled paper promises, the future is being shaped by what's real and tangible. Oil, gold, silver, rare earth elements, raw materials that power modern economies and warfare. The future is commodities. And Venezuela is one of the most resource-rich countries in the world, with deep ties to China and Russia that directly challenge the petrodollar system and set the stage for consequences for your dollar, your gold, and the future of the global monetary system. But before we can break down how these moves might accelerate de-dollarization and reshape the world order, we first have to understand why Venezuela's resources are so important to the United States. And don't skip this foundational part, as it sets the stage for what's coming next for the petrodollar, the future of your gold and silver, and of course, the dollars in your wallet. The United States is currently the world's largest oil producer, but not all oil is created equal. In fact, there is a huge spectrum of types of crude oil, ranging from heavy and thick goo-like crude oil to lighter and thinner. Now, lighter and thinner is typically preferred because it produces products like gasoline and diesel, whereas heavier crude oil requires far more processing and on its face produces lower value products like asphalt. But the United States produces primarily the lighter, thinner oil, which sounds like a great thing. That's the oil that everyone wants, but not so fast. Let's go back to the energy crises of the 1970s, when fear and panic around oil scarcity was at an all-time high. During this period of time, it was widely believed that the United States production of this lighter, thinner oil was in a long-term decline, and that the heavier goo-like crude oil was going to be far more abundant in the future. Fearing a future where the light oil ran out, the United States made massive decades-long investments into recalibrating the refineries to process the heavier crude oil. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars to create refineries that processed oil that wasn't even produced here in the United States. But guess what? Light oil didn't run out. In fact, there's an abundance of light oil here in the United States that we can't use. And before you say, well, why don't they just switch everything back to process the light oil? It would cost hundreds of billions of dollars, take decades. They would lose tons of profits in the meantime. So economically and politically, it's become a bit of a non-starter, which left the US with only one option: to import heavy crude. If you look at the breakdown of oil imports to the US since the 1970s, you can see that heavy crude oil has surged from roughly 10% of total imports in 1978 to nearly 70% today. To put it simply, the US needs heavy crude oil and it needs it in higher and higher volumes. But here's the kicker. Again, contrary to the 1970s beliefs, heavy oil is not so abundant. It's capital intensive, difficult to extract, and located only in a few places, with the top two locations being Canada and Venezuela. Now, at one point, Venezuela was the world's largest oil exporter, but much has changed. Years of U.S. sanctions, economic ruin, and corruption halted the industry. Without new investments, infrastructure began to decay. And as I mentioned, heavy crude oil is resource intensive. Without the investment, equipment went by the wayside, there was no new technology, and essentially production stalled. But this wasn't just bad news for Venezuela, as I'm sure you can guess. This was bad news for the U.S. as well, who, as Venezuela's production has declined, has had to become increasingly dependent on Canada, which now accounts for 60% of the United States' heavy crude oil imports. If the United States was going to look to diversify or find other importers of heavy crude oil and Venezuela's out, well, guess what? They don't have that many options to turn to. The next best in line would be Russia. In fact, President Trump in a recent interview basically said as much.
Go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
But this isn't just about oil. At the start of the video, I said that this was a story about power control and the future of the global monetary system. Since the 1970s, most all oil has been priced and sold in US dollars, an agreement commonly referred to as the petrodollar. When people say that the dollar is backed by oil, this is what they're referring to. This arrangement has essentially created an infinite demand for US dollars and US debt and kept the dollar at the center of the global financial system. But in recent years, this structure has started to crumble. In 2022, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the freezing of U.S. reserve assets, the entire world started to wake up to the fact that if their U.S. assets could be frozen or seized with the push of a button, then they weren't really sovereign. This lit a fuse on de-dollarization, or an effort globally to reduce the use of and the reliance on dollars as well as Western-dominated payment structure, instead opting for alternative payment rails, new systems, trade in local currencies, and settlement in gold. Now, it's impossible to overstate just how important the petrodollar is to the United States' success, which is why the U.S. will do anything to protect it and why other nations who are pursuing de-dollarization are experimenting with settling oil in alternative currencies and assets. Venezuela, cut out from the U.S. dollar system in recent years, had become part of this shift. Joining the ranks of Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, who have all already been laying the groundwork for an alternate parallel monetary system, one without the dollar. Now, the legacy media, they're not going to explain this to you. No mainstream outlet is going to tell you the impact this will have on you. But if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you already understand just how high the stakes are. As all of this continues to move forward, we can expect to see a declining demand for U.S. debt. That declining demand will create more instability, and the United States will be forced to print more dollars to cover our deficit. But history shows us what happens when we reach this point in a currency reset, when confidence collapses. That's when you can expect to see inflation really take hold, giving way to hyperinflation or to rapid price increases, and eventually an official revaluation or devaluation of the currency. In fact, Venezuela is a textbook example. After years of hyperinflation and multiple currency revaluations, we call it lopping off zeros in this case. Imagine you had $1 million in your bank account, and one day the government tells you, we're going to lop off 3 zeros. Now you go and check your account, you only have $1,000. That's what happened 3 times to the citizens. They learned the hard way that if they saved their wealth in the fiat currency, Well, they were left with nothing. But those who protected their wealth outside of the system with physical gold and silver, everyone who had the real deal physical gold, they saw their wealth not only be protected, but actually skyrocket on the other side compared to the failing fiat currency, giving them opportunity on the other side of the reset. Which brings us back to today and to gold. Now, Venezuela's gold has already been locked in a geopolitical battle, some of it billions, locked in the Bank of England, who have refused to give them their gold back. Some are speculating that maybe this was all a master plan between England and the United States, knowing that the U.S. was going to invade and that the United States now has their sights set on getting Venezuela's gold. I cannot confirm or deny that. One thing that this does prove, though, is just how important it is to make sure you have your physical gold, right? If you don't hold it, you don't own it, as Venezuela learned the hard way. But besides the billions that are stuck in the Bank of England, Venezuela actually has the largest gold reserves in all of Latin America. Now, again, I don't know if the United States is going to try and seize this gold, but we've made it very clear that we're at the very least going after the oil. So it's not that crazy to think that gold might be next. But either way, it's a win for the U.S., whether or not we seize the gold, because you're effectively cutting Venezuela off from the other BRICS nations that are actively building a parallel monetary system that is gold based. Now you're going to keep Venezuela into that dollar denominated system, right? Keeping them sticking to the script versus veering off. See, China's not just stockpiling gold. I've talked about this before. I call it the Great Gold Reset. China is stockpiling gold, but they are also actively creating the infrastructure to create this new gold-based system. They're not waiting for the current fiat system to collapse and then they have something ready to go. They are creating the system as it stands today, creating the Shanghai Gold Exchange and increasing physical gold instead of paper gold.
Right.
They have the gold corridor with vaults all across Asia, as well as creating the demand for gold by the Belt and Road Initiative, which allows settlement in, guess what? Physical gold. But let me pause. Let me ask you, can you guess who was a major participant in the Belt and Road Initiative? Who owed China hundreds of billions of dollars, who was essentially in China's pocket for all this new infrastructure? If you guess Venezuela, you guess correct. In fact, China was Venezuela's largest buyer of oil. Petrodollar coming back to mind, anyone? And I don't know about you, but I find coincidences these days, true coincidences, to be very rare. So I do think it's odd that a few hours before the U.S. captured Maduro, he was meeting with China's special representative on Latin American affairs.
Come on.
See, we have to remember Venezuela's not just strategically important to the U.S. Venezuela is strategically important to China and to the BRICS nations, not just for crude oil, but for everything else they have sitting underground, all of the other minerals, critical minerals and rare earth elements that Venezuela has, the same ones that are going to be hugely important for the future of modern technology and warfare, the same ones that China is trying to create a monopoly on for refining and processing. But not only that, if we want to take it even a step further, allowing China or Russia to gain a foothold in Venezuela brings them really close into the Western Hemisphere, not just monetarily, but military as well. There's a lot more than meets the eye on this story. But here's the part that matters the most, how it impacts you. Because whether you agree with this intervention or not, which I'm not here to tell you how to feel about that, you can make that decision on your own. There is one thing we all can agree on, which is that the consequences of this do not just stay in Venezuela, they impact each and every one of us.
That's right.
Energy prices, your purchasing power, geopolitical dynamics, inflation, the price of gold and silver, there is a lot that is set to change from this. So let's start with first things first. The world has been moving towards de-dollarization for years. It is like a snowball rolling down the hill. It's only gaining speed and will continue to do so, especially after 2022 with the freezing of Russia's U.S. assets. It was like pouring gasoline on a fire. And to be honest, anytime there is a massive geopolitical shock like this, all it does is wake up all of the other nations and remind them why they are fighting for a parallel system that cuts out the dollar in the first place.
right.
Make no mistake, the takeaway here for BRICS nations is not to hang up their hats and call it a day, but to work harder and faster on that parallel monetary system, the one that they are already building so that they can have a gold-based system and reduce reliance on the dollar. Now, a reduction in reliance on the dollar means less demand for U.S. debt. I've talked about this before, but less demand for U.S. debt means that we can expect to see our purchasing power decline. This is because the yields will go up. We're going to have to pay investors more to take on our debt, which is going to cost us more, which means we have to print more. And you cannot create more units of an existing currency without reducing the values of the existing units, right? So that means your savings, your retirement, your paycheck, anything that is dollar denominated within this system is effectively going to be worth less. This is why gold and silver matter so much. Physical gold and silver. Every currency reset throughout history, it always comes back to gold. If you want to learn more about currency resets, the pattern they follow, the timeline, and how different assets perform, we have a totally free resource. We made it free because we believe everyone should have it. It's called the Built to Endure report. You can download it by scanning the QR code, or there's a download link below. Either way, get your copy. Again, it's totally free. It's packed with 100 years of currency reset information in there. I highly recommend it to anyone out there who's watching. But I know someone out there is going to say, wait a second, Taylor, we got the oil, we got the gold, we got the resources. Isn't this a good thing for the United States? And I understand what you're saying. But again, this is very labor intensive, time intensive, resource intensive to get the equipment to where we need it to be. We could be looking at years long. This isn't a flip of the switch where suddenly the oil's just flowing tomorrow to the US. And again, we're talking about a lot of capital. And in the meantime, this is a wake-up call to every other nation out there to keep ditching the dollar and to move to gold, which they've already started. But if you don't think that this is going to be a foot on the gas for those nations, I mean, the first thing I said when I saw the news about Venezuela was none of us have enough gold or silver, right? That was my first initial thought. And if you don't already have a strategy in place that has physical, the real deal, gold and silver in it, call us at the number below or scan the QR code. We at ITM Trading, we are a full service physical gold and silver dealer. But we don't just sell gold and silver. We work with you to create a custom strategy, one for your concerns, your fears.
Boy, I just want to say thank you to ITM Trading. I'm really happy to have that resource. I am not going to lie to you guys. I love it. Do get the Built to Endure report. That is totally free. Educate. You cannot elevate unless you educate. This is not going to work. And while this may, all of our American patriots, it's wonderful. Guys, who's going to suffer first? There will be pain before there is growth in this country. I don't give a dag how you feel about or who did what and all of that. My question is what's going on in your house? You're suffering. Your question first and foremost should be the same. Concerned with your home economy, and how all of this affects you. Do you have the proper assets in mind, in alignment? Are you lined up? Now, something Taylor, because they're gold and silver, they focus on gold and silver because that's what they sell, did not bring up was the history of Venezuela and Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, no, we ain't talk about that. We didn't talk about the crypto that has been helping Venezuela pay for things outside that dollar. Oh, no, to pay with China. They've been utilizing crypto to surpass the dollar system so that they could move up in the world. Guys, I don't know who, for those who are Venezuelans and are like, okay, this is oppression. We had oppression. We're so grateful for whatever. Your country just got scooped by America. You are about to be colonized. You think your families are safe? If you think it's hard here, watch what they do to y'all while robbing you of your resources. They will not be distributing you all, your countries, the resources they're about to swoop out. If you thought your leaders was holding those back, you are now generationally screwed. Get over yourselves and whatever you got going on in the past. I'm telling you now, Let it go and start putting your stuff together. Because you too, boo-boo, just got colonized. Ain't it great? Modern day colonization, and it was on the news. How long has the U.S. been doing this? These used to be stories. Y'all just watched it play out on the news. Worldwide. They ain't even hiding it from you anymore. They trying to get you to be happy about it, to be proud. Everybody who doesn't fit the agenda of the haves are now considered terrorists. Countries that don't roll over and give their resources are terrorists. You don't do business like we want you to, you're not going around us. Terrorists, that's what you considered. When did that happen? When did just trying to take care of your family and feed your country and really mind your own damn business become terrorism? Want to do business with who you want to do business with. You're making a choice of how you want to function in the world. When was that terrorism? When you wanted to not to have to interact with other people became terrorism and survive. Guys, it ain't that long ago they bombed in this country small towns that did better than others. Terrorism. Let's not forget about that. Wow, it says second time around for that country. Thanks, Mr. Thomas. I want to tell y'all about this. See, don't get it twisted. The background territory happens to be El Salvador. Countries like El Salvador, countries like where we're looking at right now, Venezuela's, you know what I'm saying? They got resources, baby. They don't do this for nothing. They ain't doing this for the people. They could have came in and helped y'all how long ago? Crazy? Why they look? That's like the people who take the video during the crime, put it on social media. That's who you want to whoop ass. You know what I'm saying? That's who you want to kick their tail. Why all of a sudden we got to go in and get this dude? Donald Trump knew him a long time. Been back and forth. Do some research on Donald Trump's actual trips to Venezuela, talking with that president. Business. Before presidentiality of this country, y'all go look at the businessman company stuff his company's done with it. That's why I say follow the money and you'll find out exactly the why. You don't have to ask no more questions. None. Your president was a person before he was the president. Before all this mayhem and these lights, he didn't have this much coverage before. Donald Trump's move didn't make this kind of movement. You all gave him this arena. Not just the ones who voted for him, but the ones who keep the conversation going. It's time to get off that. That's the distraction. It's time to wake up and get to work. Because while you distracted, they out there, they collecting. They got you complaining while they collecting. We doing stuff like this. We doing stuff like this. We doing this long term. We doing little pieces until we get big amounts. We getting consistent before they outprice us. People waking up now, so people like us are waking up, so now they going to make the price higher. That's what they were hoping while they were collecting, holding the price of this stuff back. That's called the gold back, baby. That's a gold. That's called silver. Real deal. What are you doing for your family today? Do you know how to do it? I just did a gold and silver, a hard metals masterclass for $25 donation. You know how many people showed up? That's why you broke. That's why you suffering. You won't educate yourself. You crazy? How you starving and you sitting on gold, silver? You got folks in your neighborhood will buy it from you. You ask no questions. You just want that dirty green they give you, and it's gone quick. You got to be kidding me. Y'all have no strategies. There's no new conversation. It's time to wake up. Long time. Many years. We told y'all we have one conversation every week for free. Once a week. I'm going to put that back up here. That is a QR code. That is a QR code. Come to class. Go sign up. Go on the website. See that p2gnetworks.com right there? It's on the front page. There's a flyer for the free conversation. You click it, you sign up, you come to class. You come to, and it's not a class, it's a community conversation on digital economic equity. You better get in this because the next part of the plan is already taking place because you are already in it. Now, we talked about crypto in this lovely little crisis. You think Trump don't know that they got over 600,000 Bitcoins? They mined those. You think Trump don't know that we got geothermal energies in those regions that are now able to supplement us for this issue with the electricity. Canada could go bye-bye, because once you take over geothermal energy, meaning energy coming from the planet, creating electricity, or I should say non-stop. Guys, think about it. They're just taking this stuff. I know I look like Trump. It's crazy. It's true. I'm just excited because nobody paid attention. No one's paying attention to the real resources. They're taking over. They told them, we kicked your president out and we're going to run your country. You got people who are actually going, yay. You don't even like it here. He's going to send you home. He's sending you back. Babe, once they remove y'all all got here because you were refugees. You're not a refugee because according to them, the problem don't exist. That's America. You could go home now. Anybody ever think about that? But y'all so glad. Oh my God, it was so bad. You came here. You were the huddled masses, and now you're not. So you too, boo-boo, can go home while they mine your country and control and regulate you. You happy about that? It's what happens when you don't get it together. It's what happens when you put all of your faith and your hope into someone other than yourself. You all have an opportunity to educate. Go home. But don't leave without the education. You already have the option. You have these things that give you reach. Now you got to learn how to turn it into an at-home ATM. You got to learn how to turn it into assets. You got to learn how to shift things no matter what your situation. You don't have to be stuck, and you don't have to get swapped out of your stuff. You have to get fooled. It's time. Guys, I think y'all need to start realizing something. The community is stronger than government has ever been. Just had a conversation about the Black Panthers. You know how many programs the government stole from the Black Panthers setup as they told you they were terrorists? Yeah, just so that they made you, instead of us becoming independent, we became dependent on programs. Like, y'all know that SNAP program, don't you? Came from the Panthers. Oh, yeah. School lunch and breakfasts came from the Panthers. Clinics for helping people when hospitals were turning you away, bleeding, in pain, dying from the inside, came from the Panthers. Yeah, had their own. I'm not even a Panther. I just happen to be in the community they served. You know, I grew up in that era. There was no options for us. Your Democratic Party got all its power from the dismantling of a private program that was trying to teach the people to rise and help themselves, use our skills to educate and care for ourselves. Where are those programs now? Where your Democratic Party for promoting and pushing that? They're fighting to keep their seats and their jobs. And they got you back in their jobs while you lose them. While you have to still go back to feeding yourselves because they have no power to feed us. Trump's regime does not care if you die. As a matter of fact, the more of you die now, the more your children can be controlled because you never taught them anything. It's time to start moving in the other direction. You have too much access to information. Too much. It's not focused. They did that on purpose. And then they put up the strongest, most repetitive. They have the money to run the most repetitive education. So you know what? We show up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We come together. We show you community. We create educational programs. We're not the Black Panthers. We are P2G. Pennies to Gold Ministries. That's all we are. Now, we aren't official ministries yet, but it's a world that we have to create of ministering to one another. I don't have any religious food for you at all. What I have is food for the soul, true soul. Rules of how the world works. Anybody teaching y'all how to grow anything? How to feed your family when the store shut down? How to make sure you have the proper supplies and setup for being able to maintain, hunker in place if necessary. Protect your family. Never have to leave the house or your property. How to protect your property from the powers that be. Because they're coming for your stuff too, baby. They don't want you with anything. We'll show you the new system, how to get on the other side. But you have one responsibility. You've always had one responsibility. You have to learn and put it in action. You can't sit on your tail. You can't sit there and shake and then flip the channel when somebody says, get it together, come learn with us, and be like, oh, here we go again. You have to stop and take the time to see what's there. You got to be looking. I couldn't have found what I found if I'd have kept going. Nah, that's a scam. I said Bitcoin was a scam. I could be a Bitcoin billionaire right now. I could be a Bitcoin billionaire right now. Had I not had that same thing y'all are turning the station for, going, she's still, I see you guys on Clapper. Don't worry, we see y'all. I'm just in multiple streams. Thank you. Stay in the room in the conversation. Don't let yourself get taken away. We blow ourselves out of opportunity because we think and assume. I thought there was a lot of I before I learned to vet or to properly judge a program by what I needed, I was too busy knowing everything. I wasn't learning. I wasn't testing the waters. I wasn't checking stuff out. I wasn't even checking people out. I was just trying to get with the ones that look like they. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not about the look. I'm about the reality. Because if all this burned down today, I know I'm good. Simple as that. All I need is this in here. And I need you to remember that. All you need is this. This is working. We can work with it. You're disabled in some way. We can work with it. You got a learning disability. We can work with it. Because you're not disabled. You're enabled a different way. And because this ain't the school system, you got people who are just like you, have figured out some things, so we work and mentor each other from where we are. You ain't going to no program that do that. P2G is building an entire world for that. So you're going to need to get some of this. And you got to stop waiting and sitting around before this stuff hits $300 and $400 like Bitcoin did. Right now, it's under 100 and it's holding. It's under 100 and it's kind of sticking for a little bit. That ain't going to happen because it moved real fast. You know why? Because what you just read and just what you just saw that young lady state. And I let y'all know right now, don't believe none of us. Not her, not me, not the report. I want you to take the report, look it up and see. I want you to come to P2G, go on the site, go check out everything we got up there and see if it's real. I want you to come to the conversation tonight. I'm going to put it up one more time. I'm going to come to the conversation at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're on Zoom. And no, for those who want to ask, there are no replays. This is a private setting, and this is your invitation. If you don't show, no problem. See you next week. But classes are already running. I want you guys to get that. We're already in the process right now of helping people get what they need. People are doing the work. They're showing up. They come into class. They're even in study halls. Study halls is optional. We have full study halls because people are not playing about this money today, about this security today. They're not playing about the fact that they got 2 and 3 jobs and can't make ends meet. And what do you mean that taxes just went up on us? What do you mean that the cost of transportation just went up? What do you mean that my paycheck I got to do less hours because y'all can't afford to pay me more? Yeah, all these little tax breaks that Trump gave that y'all like, yeah, we gonna do this. Dude, let me tell you, it don't add up. But y'all haven't done the math. So come to class. That's where we do the math. And just to let you know, it's only 3rd grade math. We're not talking rocket science. Ain't nothing new math about this. But you got to do the math of your life. It's not mathing because life ain't lifing because y'all not mathing. When you sit down and you start looking at where you put all your time and your focus and everywhere how you making money, what you doing with it, then you start learning other things you can do with it, how to do it, the technology. You learn how to put the tech together. Someone takes time with you. Then we do it together. We take time together. Each one teach one. That's reality, baby. That's where we coming back. Y'all want the good old days? Come join the people who ain't never left them. The good old days it morphed into today. Today are the good old days. This is the America. This is the one where we have not forgotten. They want your older people to die off so that your young people who haven't learned how this world really, really works without government or without as much government, how we do for self. Oh, they don't want your young people doing that. They don't want none of that stuff to carry on. So yes, they will kill you off. They'll let you die. Because with you goes a world that was more self-sufficient and capable and able. We weren't depressed. We were busy. And we still are. We're teaching our young people to get busy. Now, I can't say it always works. I can only say that if you depended on these young people to save your life, you're in the wrong position. So get to work. I don't care how old you are, come to class. You better get on board, baby, because this train is pulling out. All right. So with that, it's gonna be an early day today because I got appointments. I got things to do. We are creating the mothership. I'm really excited about that. Our enrollments are coming in. We're getting ready to go into the next month. Right now, the platform is free. We want you all to come in. Go to P2G, sign up, get a free account. I'm not telling you to buy a damn thing. Come into the platform. So as we move we will be sending you our new location so that you get into the free membership. We have free membership to P2G's full website. But a lot of y'all think, oh, I'm in some things and I don't pay attention. You better come to these things and show up, ask questions, get real answers. We do Q&As with reality. We show you how to get your answers. When you're ready to get into a class, you can then join the actual paid membership. That's for you. But if you're not in the conversation, you don't even know where to go. A lot of these folks is out here. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing we are not. This is not a multi-level marketing program. We don't have a membership where you have to get a referral. You don't need to be referred, but you do need to put yourself in front of the information now. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Breakfast with the Thomases is where P2G gets to see the world. You get to find out how the world works. Our experience, which made us want to create a community for ourselves. We love you all, and that is not a lie. That is not to be taken lightly. And like I said, this ain't church, but it is a ministry. We minister over the lives of those who would be scared, alone, confused, angry, and even those who don't know it. Some of y'all out here don't understand why you saying this, why the same thing keeps happening in your life. We'll help you get out of that stream. But you got to take the time to come get some new information. We have a lot of folks in our community, and everybody comes from a different background and professional education and what they do. We were hoping that you guys would join us. But first, I want to give thanks for giving me your time right now. If you are on with us on Clapper, hi guys. If you're on with us on Clapper, I know y'all like, these words ain't adding up. They have a delay on the other side. If you're on with us on Twitch, YouTube, actually, if you're on El Ruby's Talking Stuff, that's where YouTube is now. P2G has had to take a break because Mr. Thomas got us in trouble. It's your fault. It's your fault. Anyway, we're here and we're family, and it's time. And I don't care what you've been through with your your blood family. You were born to a planet, not just to a group. Every person, whether you like them or not, is yours too. And I'll tell you this right now. Brother Trump ain't the only one. I'll tell you right now, every one of them we've had to deal with. I'm a human being having a human experience on this very human earth with a bunch of other humans who are going through their thing. Not so different than myself. You understand where I'm coming from? I sure hope you do, because we've got miles to travel and eons to live out. Let's do it together, and let's level the playing field, because it's knowledge that does that. It's information. We've been moving quickly into this state. You know, I hate to say it, but I've always been a part of the geek nerd group since I was a child. And I'm telling you that all of that was coming and more. You don't have to be part of the geek nerd group to be part of the moving, changing world. Let's get it together. All right. And with that, I thank you all. I'm gonna check on some folks here. See if I got Miss Shelby in the house, Brother Black Casper in the house. We had a few folks that rode through here with us. I love it. We had some folks here on, oh my gosh, okay. So we had some folks here that were hanging out with us. We thank you guys for being on with us, giving love on all platforms. Clapper, yes. We'll let you know. Facebook, definitely my Facebook family. Thank you so much for being in the house. Guys, life be lifing, but that don't mean that you got to go under. It just means that the pressure's on and you just got to meet it. We got some new ways to do that. Let's go together. Get on that. Use that QR code. If you haven't seen it, pull up the QR code. Replay this platform. Pull up the QR code. Go to p2gnetworks.com. For those who are on stereo, y'all got my link right above your heads. So you really got no excuse. Show up. I get lots of people who say, Miss Rubio, I'm coming to the show. I'm coming to the program. I'm coming to the such and such. Look, tonight, there's no fee. That's the community. That's our open community forum. It's either be there or be square. You can hear what I'm saying now, but you don't want to know what's on the inside. You're going to have to show up. And I do that every week. We're back actually in 2026. We are back to weeklies. Class has already started. When you going to get yours? When you going to get yours? This is important. Told y'all. I got folks out here. I'm hearing now about people in Long Island doing business owners, doing business with ease. Why? Because they know the long-term value of this over some dollar bills. They'll do this. You can get your hair cut for this. Get your tires taken care of. You know what I'm saying? You can get services for this. And by the way, I'm holding up a gold back. That's what I'm holding up. A gold back. This is a portion, 1,000th of a 24K ounce. 1,000. And think about it. We're going to do a little math. 1,000 divided, let's take a look at the price of gold today. I always like to make things accurate. I told you I do math. I don't play games. Price of gold today. Let's see. All I'm doing is Google. Just Googling it. Price of gold today per ounce. Beautiful. All right. Charts says that gold is at $4,447.81. So this is worth $4.44, 45 cents roughly. I bought it when it was like $1.50 each. Yeah. Go think about that. Go back and see when it was $1,500 an ounce. Y'all go look at the chart. See when it was $1,500 and see how long it took that to go to $4 for this. Woo, $4.50 just popped up. I know y'all can't see. I'm excited because y'all can't see that right now, but it's awesome. It's awesome. It really is. I don't watch the charts. I manage them. That's part of my life. Back and forth. It's time for you to start managing the charts of your life, the things that move. Time to get paid when you're sleeping. Or like Warren Buffett said, if you can't figure out a way to get paid when you sleep, then you're going to work till you die. I ain't make it up. He didn't make it up. He observed the fact. His employees work until they die, unless they learn the lesson. You have to learn to acquire and create moving assets that grow in value. This is a form of one. We teach you multiple. No, I'm not the crypto lady. I teach digital financial literacy. And that's what we do at P2G Networks. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Keep taking care of your families. Remember, you have to love you first. You love you fierce, but love you first, not only. Because that's not going to work any other way. See you soon. Peace. And I'm just going to play. We're going to rock out. I absolutely love. Woo! Oh, I love it. I hope you guys like it. I hope you love it. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Wake up and rise up in your eyes. It's breakfast with the Thomases. The
got that right.
ultimate prize. Mental Wellness Monday.